If you are considering about what could be your next step to be more organized and productive, you might be thinking, there must be a better way to do this than just using to-do list. If that's you, in this video, I want to share with you a way to transition from a regular to-do list to a workflow board management. Hi, I'm Tatyana Fittipaldi. In this channel, we make videos to help global leaders become more productive, more effective, both in business and in life. If that's for you, click that subscribe button now. In today's video, I'd like to share with you another way to manage what you have to do besides using the to-do list. And don't get me wrong, to-do lists are great. They are very, very helpful. But they could be limited because, one, you see everything in a list view. This means you don't really get to visually see everything that is going on with your tasks. Two, if you are using a to-do list, you have to work on tasks that take a little longer to complete, you probably won't be able to really track the progress of these tasks. You will track what's done and what's not done. And three, to-do lists usually are more difficult to integrate peers and team members' tasks as well. You don't have the visual of everything in one single place. Usually to-do list is your to-do list. A workflow board gives a better breadth of management because it not only helps you see visually how the workflow is happening, but also helps you integrate team members' tasks and also track progress of everything that needs to be done. In today's show, I'd like to show you how to do this by using a free option called Trello. And just as a disclaimer, this video is not intended to be a tutorial for Trello. It's just a video to help you see how to transition from a to-do list to a workflow board. It's basically a video to show you and give you ideas of what you can do with Trello and how you can put some of these ideas into practice. Now that we got this out of the way, let's jump in. When you start with Trello, this is basically what you get right after you subscribed. So as you can see here, they are suggesting some templates here for you. If you already had some boards, you would see them here. Right now, I just created this, so this is a blank slate. So let's create a board so you guys can see how it looks like. So let's create a board, and let's use anything. Anything is fine. And here you will see you can choose. So let's say you had many teams. You can have, you can be part of many teams. And then you can tell if this is visible, if it's a private board, or even if it's public. You can set all these things here. And then once you do this and put the board name, so let's say board, you can also start with a template. So let's see what templates we have here. So the last time I saw, the templates were very, very good actually. So there were many options to choose from. So let's use the Kanban template here. So let's use this template. Yeah, let's keep the way it is, yeah. Okay, so now you have a board. And this, because this comes from a template, the board was already created for you. So you have already the columns of the workflow, and you have to use them right now. So for example, in this case, in this Kanban case, you and your team are going to list here everything that you have in your backlog, everything that you have to do, the tasks that you have to do, maybe for clients or maybe for your own projects. So let's say we will create here, just as an example, let's say this is project 1. Okay, you would write here the right name of your project. So let's say you are working on a website for client X, Y, and Z. Okay, you would put a description here. You and your team can, as you can see here, you can put comments here, you can put labels here, and I suggest that you say what label is what. So for example, let's say you want that reds are critical paths, for example. Or let's make it simple, because so something critical, just let's put it this way, critical. You will see that every time you use this label, it's going to be critical. Okay, so we're selecting this label here, but we could select more than one. So let's say you're deciding here that this label is going to say needs approval. You could select both of them, and then you would have both of them here. You can include a checklist. So let's say you can put whatever here, name of whatever the to-do that you have, and just to make it review, follow items. So you have here, and as you can see, you have a progress card here. So long people start working on them, the progress is shown, according to how much has been already done. So it's pretty cool. And then of course you can set due dates. You can say, okay, I want this to be done by the 9th, for example. You can have a cover. So let's say this was the cover for the website. You can, or you have a screenshot of the draft of the website that you're creating. You can put it here. And let's say you use this process, this style for all the websites that you are creating and that needs review. You can make this a template so that you don't have to all the time write all the items in the checklist, create the checklist. So basically you can use them the template instead. Here if you have many members, you can and there are many people working on this, but you want to keep a watch on this, you can highlight this too. You can add attachments. So let's say you have some assets to include here in this website that you're not completely sure if you should or if you should not, and you want this to be part of the review, for example. You could do that. So as you can see, it's pretty customizable. The way you can use it, it is pretty customizable. So basically, let's say you have here the card. So let's say you have another card, website for client A, and renew. Let's say you use, a stock image, I don't know, place. Renew subscription. So here you will put everything in your backlog, and you and your team, okay? Everything you have to do, you will, assign deadlines. You would include the things here in the card for easy management. So let's say now that in this workflow, the way this specific template is happening is that once you move to the next stage, so you're in design, so the team or whoever is, working on with you, or if you are alone, you will know that these are the things that you have to work on the design. So you have to sort of brainstorm, you have to work on the things, you have to create the things, etc. So let's say you are designing and then you start including a bunch of things. You include assets or you include ideas. Let's use a video explainer, whiteboard. From, Powtoon. So you include here, the things and the ideas, etc. And then when you sort of planned and decided what are the things that you want to do, maybe you will include here the script and the copywriting of the website, etc. And you're ready to move to the next stage, you are going to put it here. Okay, and then it's in the to-do. So here it's basically the hands-on. You're going to actually work on the website. So basically you're getting out of here and doing really the work. So let's say, okay, this everything here is to be done. It's in that stage that you have to, take and start to work. So let's say, I woke up, I'm, on my studio and I want to pick client X, Y, and Z, and I want to start working on this one. So today I'll design this website. So then you will move to doing, okay? And then let's say everything is done and you already done everything, and then so you're going to move to the code review. You're going to, do those final checks. You're going to make sure, all the links are up, etc. And then finally, when you are done with the website, basically you have to test it, right? So you have to test it. And then you will then move to testing. And once it's done, you're going to move to done. So basically here, what you are doing here is you are helping visually with the board. You are helping to visually see what are the things that, that you have to tackle and in which stage of the process they are. So here is one example, and it seems pretty ridiculous because it's only one, but imagine if you had this all filled out. So you would be able to see that you have, so for example, let's say you have a huge backlog here. So let's say you have a huge backlog here, and you then see that, you still have also a lot of things here in the design. And for some reason, you don't have so much in the to-do or doing. And you're going to be able to say, okay, there's something wrong here in the design phase because I'm not moving too much things from the design to the to-do. So you will be able to start to manage the workload. You will be able to see, okay, there's a bottleneck here. So what is the bottleneck in this stage? Or maybe it's the opposite, you have things are working fine right here, and then all of a sudden we have, a bunch of, a huge a list here in code review. Everybody, all the clients are in code review, let's say. So you're going to say, let's say you're working with a bigger team, you're going to say, okay, what's happening? And then you will find out that, you know, your main code reviewer is actually sick. He's out on leave, for example. So this is very powerful for you if you're working remotely, if you have, you know, a small team and you share a board. You can really, you know, this can be really very powerful. And if you are working alone, that is also very powerful. It helps you also manage how things are going, and it also helps you see, okay, I'm taking too much on. My backlog is too big, and you know, I'm taking so much time working on new designs, new projects, etc., that I am not working so much on, you know, the execution per se. So you can say, okay, so basically I am going to stop, you know, getting new projects or putting them on a waiting list or something, and I'll try to clear up some of my backlog. So you can manage pretty well with a board. So let's start with a completely new board, just so you can see, you know, what you can do. So let's say when you start with a completely new board, this is what you get. So because it is not coming from a template, basically, you know, you have a clean slate, and you can, and that's good. You can do whatever, you know, you choose. So let's say you want to say that you want to have here, you know, all tasks to complete. And then here you will put, you know, to do. You will put a place here only for high priority. You will put here a specific tab for review and approval. So if you're alone or if you're in a team, you know that, you know, this tab is mostly for the manager. And then final check and test, and done. So I don't know, I'm making things up here, but basically you can put here anything you have in your mind, the way you work, the way you and your team work. You can adapt this to whatever your need is. So I think it's pretty cool. It's free, you know, so it's a way to manage your stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. So Trello also has some automation features, and they call this Butler. So if you ask for Butler, you have some options here, and they even you know, they give you some tips and some pre-done automations for you. So they will explain everything, so you will be able to go through here and start working on, you know, automations based on calendar, based on due date. So let's say, you know, you have a board here, and you want to say that, you know, everything that you know, exceeded the due date goes automatically into the high priority. Okay, so you can automate this, and then you will see, oh my god, I have everything that comes to this column here is basically everything that I was not able to deliver. So you're going to say, okay, so if this is piling up too frequently, you can, you know, have the business thinking that, okay, So maybe I'm not setting the due dates correctly, or there is an overload of work with the team members involved, or there is a problem. So you want to understand what the problem is, because you want to fix your workflow. You want to make sure your processes are working fine. So the butler can be very helpful and can help you automate some of the things here for you. And I would, highly suggest for you to explore. But even if you don't automate anything, even if you do it all manual, you can use the same thinking process. So basically, this is it for Trello. And here, in the boards, you will be able to see, the boards that you created. You can, start some boards. Imagine, so let's say you decide to have a board per client, for example, or a board per project, or, one single, so let's say you work alone and you want one single board for let's say your work, and one board for home, one board for learning. So let's say you're doing a training or you're doing a certificate or something, you can create boards, right? You can create boards. I think the free plan, it's unlimited boards, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a pretty useful tool for you to organize what's going on. Okay, of course it's more powerful if you are in a desk, right? If you're a person who works on the go, although they do have the mobile version, in my opinion is that this is a lot more powerful if you sit on a desk. So if you are the type of person who works on a desk, this is more powerful. And one final thing I wanted to talk about is about the power up. So if you go here to the menu and you add a power up here, and before we go there, let me just say, in the free version you only have one per board. And the thing is, once you start really using power ups, you will want more power ups. Okay, so make sure you explore this, but know that you will have to be very selective on what you are really doing with this, because you only have one. So for example, you can use a power up to use your Trello cards in a calendar view. And this is quite interesting, and especially depending on what you do, it's quite powerful. So let's say, for example, you are a YouTuber and you do a lot of content. And even if you're not a YouTuber, but let's say you engage a lot with social media and you have an editorial calendar. So basically you can create all your tasks, and then you can create your editorial calendar in Trello. So it's quite helpful. And you can move, depending on what stage of your creation, you can move the card and say, okay, I'm scripting, now I'm shooting the videos, now I'm in the editing phase, and you can see everything that is going on, and you can manage what you are scheduling and when, and you can basically see your calendar and your deadlines here. So these power ups, there are many things here. They're very interesting. Some of them are very useful for very specific business sectors. So for example, if you work alone, approvals probably is not going to be a big thing for you. But let's say you work with a team and there is a manager who needs to approve, and the approval process is important to you, this is something that could be helpful. So as you can see, it depends on, you know, what your needs are. What a lot of people that, you know, they're solo, they use the custom fields, and they use also sometimes the Google Drive. So as you can see, you have, you know, many options. You can go through them here to see, you know, what's good for you, and what works for you. And probably some of them you will end up having to use Butler with to automate something. And if you are doing something with, you know, external apps, you will probably also have to work on the integrations. So it could get complicated, or you can you know, use the very basic and simple. So it's up to you. So as you can see, it's pretty customizable. I like that you know, you can visually see everything in a clean way. You can use pictures, you can, you know, flag things, you can put due dates, and all that. So I think it's pretty interesting. And you could do, you know, some fun things too. You could include some stickers. Of course, you know, the cute stickers, they're, you know, not free, but you have some cute stickers even in the free option, in the free version. So you can customize the board. You can structure your board. It's pretty customizable the way you structure the board. So yeah, this is something I really recommend for you to explore if you want to, you know, organize your tasks more. And, you know, just if you want to get out of the regular to-do list to something more visual, it's just something that helps you with the, you know, a workflow thinking of a process, I would highly recommend this. If you like this video, please give it a like and share with friends that might be also interested in this topic. Share in the comments below what productivity tool do you use, and if you use Trello, for what type of tasks and management do you use it for? Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.